Hey everybody, Anish Majumdar here, career coach and expert in the hidden job market. And I want to talk for a second here about a misconception that I see amongst professionals of all stripes right now. You may have heard, whether you're in tech or not, you may have heard that recently there's been a bunch of layoffs. You know, Meta, Amazon, relatively small when you look at their global workforce. However, the narrative that I keep hearing and what I hear from job seekers, professionals of all stripes is, look, the number one thing is you don't have to worry about these people, right? Because they are working in an in-demand industry. They are developers, they're programmers, they're people with those in-demand tech skills. They are easy to rehire. And as the stats are showing, that is bearing out to be the case, that the vast majority of the people who were let go have been finding work inside of that 3-month period, have been moving on. However, here's the misconception, okay? The misconception is that just because you are easy to hire, for whatever reason, that therefore you haven't made, that your career is set, you don't have to worry, you don't have to deal with any of the hassles of the hoi polloi, you are set. And that is absolutely not true. It is not true. Just because you can get hired and rehired does not mean you should be working at that job. Does not mean that you are being paid fairly. Does not mean you are seen at the right level. And oftentimes, if you don't question it, I would actually argue the more in demand you are right now, right? The more of an in-demand industry you work in, the more in demand your skill set is, the more you need to fight to be strategic right now. The more you cannot allow yourself to just be floating around, right, on the whims of corporate interests and pressures. Because what happens is this, and I speak from personal experience, having coached hundreds of people in high tech now, personally, to better outcomes. You go through 5 years. You go through 10 years. You're running from company to company to company, right? And this happens not just in tech. I don't want to just pick on tech. This happens in any industry where there's a lot of demand and professions with a lot of demand. And you wake up one day and you realize, hey, you know what? I've basically been doing the same job. All of this time where I wanted to seriously switch up and invest in this aspect of what I do and developing that, I don't have that chance to do it. Or at least I'm 10 years past the point when I should have actually been looking at it. I have 10 years less energy. You wake up 5-10 years down the line and you realize, man, I've been jumping from company to company, and I've sort of been thinking to myself that these top tier companies are going to, be my bread and butter. But what I'm finding now is that people are expecting more, and they see the companies, but they don't see the progression in terms of what I've done. I didn't fight for that. So they're asking me, well, it looks like you're basically doing the same job, and we don't really need someone to just put out fires like that, right? This is what happens when you don't say to yourself, look, there's an aspect of me that works, that is working on something or building something or partnering with a company. And there's a part of me that stands apart. A part of me that I have to control and develop that is bigger and more important than any one company, including whatever you're working at right now. So how do you do that, right? What's a way that you can protect your interests, right? What are ways that any of us can protect our interests? And to just give you a quick example, Dilip, one of our clients, I was working with him and he was telling me, look, I started as an enterprise architect and I over-delivered, right? And then I started as an enterprise architect and I over-delivered, right? The more you do that, that starts out as a good thing, but the longer you do that, the more you start getting marginalized, right? And the same is true for Rachel, the graphic designer I recently worked with, who has this inconvenient business development expertise, and you realize that what she really should be getting paid for, right, is a bridge between the creative and business sides of the company, someone who can really get this off the ground. Very different from just another graphic designer, right? These things are aspects that you need to fight for. And the best way to do it, I want to share a couple of quick tips with you, okay? And then I'll give you a very specific tip that'll help you go further if you want, okay? Number one, I want you all to think about verbalizing the strategic side of what you do. Okay? From now on, I want you to minimize, if not completely eliminate, those workplace meetings, those interactions you have, where you are talking only about your skill set, divorced of anything. Now, many of you are committing the sin of primarily not building relationships with people outside of your specialty. So if I'm in marketing, I should not only be talking with people in marketing, right? All I'm doing is talking shop and divorcing my skills from impact. From now on, okay, if someone wants to talk to you, if someone wants to get into it with you, okay, I want you to be adamant about tying in the impact of what you're doing to where this company is going to go, to what we're trying to achieve. In other words, if I'm in HR and I'm implementing an HRIS system, I refuse to be boxed in to a conversation where I'm only talking about that. Not unless we also talk about the fact this is where it bleeds into our 3-5-year plan. This is how our people are going to be better served. This is how you're going to be able to make faster decisions, right? Verbalize the strategic, right? Do this in terms of what you are working on. Do this in terms of the meetings and professional conversations you have. When you are building a relationship, be adamant about refusing to be put into a box. Oh, you're just this. Oh, you're just that. Actually, no. This is what I'm looking to do. This is what me and my team, this is what we stand for, right? What are the values that you can espouse here, right? So verbalizing it and getting into the habit of that is one of the biggest favors you can do yourself. Another thing is, if you're not already in the habit of this, regularly update your boss on what you and your team are doing through a strategic lens. It doesn't have to be a huge email. It doesn't have to be a huge screed. In fact, you lessen your power by doing that. It can be short, but do it on a regular schedule. And why are we doing it? A, this will help you verbalize the strategic. But B, you're always testing to see if there's alignment, right? Don't do the mistake that I see people make. They spend months doing what they think is their job. They come to their first performance review. They realize that their boss didn't care about 90% of what they were busy with. The 10% that they thought was an afterthought, that was the real thing, right? Don't make that mistake. So verbalizing it verbally, but also writing it out and being accountable for the strategic aspect and the impact of what you do, also very, very important. Second, rebrand around a process, not just skills. I'm seeing this over and over again, right? I'm looking at your LinkedIn profiles out there and you guys are just jamming it full of jobs you want and skill sets you have. Neither of those is the answer. I want you to think like a partner to a business. How can you move a company forward using your superpowers as only you can? I want you to stand for that. I want you to think about rebranding your resume, around that, because that'll give you a massive visibility boost and it'll help you go out for the most tightly niched roles without unnecessarily niching yourself, right? Above everything, okay? I want each and every one of you to hear me, okay? Being hireable goes like this. But what you stand for, your brand, your offer, your position, that high level change, that should never be just riding these coattails, okay? It should be a boat, a beautiful vehicle that floats atop this and successfully goes to your destination regardless of what the market says. And so for those of you who have been hiding from this stuff, right? Wake up. For those of you who have been saying, I've never had trouble getting a job, but you wonder why you're so dissatisfied, wake up. Okay? And if you want to go deeper with all of this, you can follow me on LinkedIn. My name's Anish Majumdar. Anish, put in the word Anish, A-N-I-S-H, career. Or if you want to go even deeper and learn our full strategy that we've used for 2,000 plus clients who have all generated now hundreds of millions of dollars in offers through the hidden job market, where you want to go, here's the link. Tap the hidden job market/ASAP. Going there, it's completely free. We just wrapped this. It'll show you exactly what to do and how you can start making these changes in a deeper way from branding, positioning, negotiation onwards. Okay? Either way, do not be anonymous. Do not sink back into that dark night. All right? Take some action. Talk soon.